For those who do not know, you're Chia Lee, the rapper. They've seen you in the K Michelle videos.
Right,
Are the ladies are probably like, I didn't know what was under that sweater.
But I'm just blessed to be here. I definitely started young. Rest in peace to Chris Lighty. But
yeah.
Chris I was actually the first artist he signed on his Violator imprint. Chris, not only was he instrumental in my career, but in hip hop on a whole, he played an instrumental role in so many artists and just this whole game of hip hop on a whole. Like, I didn't know if I was going to be rapping when I came home. I didn't even know if Chris even cared. So when Drez had hit me, like, yo, Chris want to see you, it was like, all right, that's what's up. And, Chris was up.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Just coming home, you like, yeah, I got to go see Chris. Not just on some music shit, but, he might have some stacks for me or whatever. I didn't know what it was going to be. Or he might just wanted to be like, how you doing? And whatever it was, it would have all been love. So it was kind of shocking when I got that call.
Now I ain't have a lot, but then again, I had more than most did. Rode the iron horse, was a straight polo kid. I kicked my little raps, pumped my little cracks. Co-op City, we had our own little track.
I want to know when he passed away, where were you and how did that affect you?
I actually came home from prison on a Tuesday. Chris died that Thursday, I believe it was. And the following Tuesday, I think, was his services. So Drez from Black Sheep actually called me Thursday. I had me and two of my mans. We had went to the gym to work out. We left the gym, and I know I was in the post office on the Grand Concourse, like 149th and the Grand Concourse. And I got a text. I think it was Drez, like, yo, you heard what happened? And I'm like, nah, what's poppin'? He's like, yo, Chris is dead. And I'm like, what Chris? Our Chris? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, nah. He's like, yo, let me make a few calls. But it was ill because, like, the day I came home, I was with Drez, and he was telling me, yo, I spoke to Chris. He want to see you and all that. And I was like, all right, that's what's up. So let's.
Did you have contact with him while you were locked up?
I think we spoke twice, and I know he was in contact. One of my brothers lives in Virginia. He's a doctor. They used to always run into each other, like in Miami, different places. So he would always send his regards through my brother. And we might have spoke 2 times when I was locked up. And then, I'm on parole at the time. I was living in Maryland, but I got permission from my PO to come up for the funeral, and it was just ill because I just seen so many faces. It was like I was crying more, not just because he was gone, but just seeing so many people that you hadn't seen in years that I literally grew up with. I mean, dudes from Ian Alexander, the Hot Dog, and the Violators, just dudes that actually took part in making Chia Lee, my album. Just everybody there that used to be in the studio writing for me and just helping me say shit, bugging, giving me 40s when I was a little kid.
Okay.
Spinning me around in chairs after I drank the 40s. Like, it was just ill. It was ill. Like, I didn't even think I would be so emotional, but I think I was more emotional just by all the individuals I hadn't seen in years. And when you're away a lot, you don't really realize how many people that you don't see, that you don't even think about, but they actually have places in your life. You know what I mean? So it was a surreal experience, man. And I miss the brother. I'm sorry he's gone, but we all gotta go. It's just I think Chris might have been one that definitely went too early.
We brushed over it a little bit during the interview, and we've discussed you coming home. And for those who do not know what you mean by coming home, you did a 12-year bid,
right?
For murder.
Homicide,
excuse me.
Manslaughter in the first.
Okay, there we go. My bad. Clear it up.
They dropped it down. Take it easy.
Okay, yes, that's right. There was a deal. But that was for. You want to tell them?
Basically, late '99, I was living with my oldest daughter's mother, and a situation occurred with my daughter's mother's brother.
It was a situation, but originally between your daughter's mother and her brother, and she called you, correct?
Right, she called me. At the time, me and him I'd say our relationship was cordial. I don't think we ever really liked each other, but I think we got along.
You tolerated each other.
For the sake of his sister, the kids, my daughter would be there, his son would be there. Long story short, my daughter's mother and her brother got into it. She called me, him and I had words, and I made a mistake that cost me 12 years.
There was a comment, I watched a full out interview where you discussed the incident that happened between, your brother-in-law almost.
Right.
He said something that I feel like nowadays this could happen again and again and again because it's a disrespectful thing to say to somebody.
Right, absolutely.
The comment was?
the comment was we was into a dispute and he told me to suck his dick.
Okay.
But looking back,
It wasn't that big.
it's never that big, and you got all type of dudes in prison serving long sentences, and it's never that big.
Okay.
Because when you lose chunks of your life like that, it's always other ways around it. And I learned that 30 seconds changed my life completely, and you gotta be rational. And a lot of people, especially in jail, a lot of dudes would be like, but Joe is the principal, you don't tell nobody. True.
Absolutely.
But it's also other principles, like
Protect
that
life.
was my daughter's uncle. You know what I mean? So when you look at it, it was a mistake. Hot-headed young kid.
How old were you?
I was early 20s, maybe 21, 22. I'm not positive, but we moving on. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I send my condolences to his family, and I learned a lot. And I'm sorry, I can't take back what I did, but you got to move forward. And definitely, I want to send my condolences to the Raymond family, to Sean's family, and to Sean's son. I do want to reach out, but at the same time, my PO is like, leave that alone.
Yeah.
She's, not no, but just leave that alone. If they come to you, that's something else. But you don't need to really go reaching out, because you don't know how people will take it. But that's something I definitely want to do in the future. But when the time is right, I guess when the time is right, it'll happen.
When it first happened, did you understand what you had done? Like the first moment you rang the trigger, like.
Not exactly. Just growing up in the Bronx and just being a New York kid living life in this environment, you hear so many stories about, friends and loved ones either getting killed or going to jail for killing somebody, that I think that the dynamics of it never really get to hit home, and you don't realize how big that is, that when you take a life, you can't give that back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you got to do all that time in jail, you can't make up those years. When your daughter's a little kid, when you leave and you come home and she's a little woman, it's no making up for that. So I definitely don't think I realized it, especially being one that I had never been to prison before. So it definitely was something that I never looked at that deep into. It was just something that I thought was supposed to happen.
At the time, were you somebody who glorified like maybe that lifestyle, or?
At that time, not at all. At that time, I had a lot of friends that hustled and was into illegal activities, but I also had a lot of friends that was doing the right thing too. And I was going to Catholic school, doing my music. So it wasn't, like, I look at it, it's no excuse for that. But when I look at being in prison and you see so many individuals who had it so much rougher than me, where may have one parent just live with their mom's getting high, where I could almost justify them doing what they did a lot more than I could justify me. So, it's no excuse. Like I said, I made a mistake, and we all make mistakes, but I just made one that was very detrimental to myself and also someone else.
Being that the original altercation stemmed from your baby's mother calling you, what was her reaction after, like, all of that?
I think she was very mentally torn for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't think by any means she thought that it was gonna come to that. But I think she looked at it like, damn, she's probably a little bit responsible for the loss of two individuals.
Yeah.
So she was caught in the middle, and it was a rough situation for her. And like I said, my condolences to their family, to Victoria, my baby's mother, to my daughter, to Sean and Sean's son, to their sisters, grandmother, just to their whole family. Like I said, it was just a ill situation. It was just ill. Like,
yeah.
I don't think words can properly describe it. But I learned a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to move forward.
I'm getting older now, letting my nuts drag. Daddy called it peach fuzz, I called it a mustache. Everybody recognizing that's the young rap kid. Years later, I'm in the state doing a flat bid. How did I get here? My brain saying bozo, laying in my cell, seeing them shots in slow-mo. My girl